resolution of the City Council of the City of Camden, Arkansas, designating a person to receive whistleblower complaints.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
It's been moved and properly second. We're ready for discussion.
Has the city attorney agreed to take this spot?
What is this?
Well, so what this is our personnel manual has a provision for city employees to, they observe or think there's any inappropriate conduct going on by the city officers or other employees to come forward, file a complaint without fear of retaliation. The policy mandates that before someone goes elsewhere, they've got to go through this process. So basically to say, instead of going to press or going elsewhere with a complaint, we're going to go through our internal process. Complaints are brought to the office of the mayor, where they go to. The personnel manual goes on to say, if the mayor is the subject of a complaint, then the complaint will be brought to the person previously designated by the mayor and approved by the council. We went back and looked at the previous manuals, as far as we can tell, that language has been in there forever, but we can't find anything where there was a person designated. There may have been a person previously designated, but it's basically just common sense that you've got a procedure for any employee that thinks they are aware of something going on and they want to have a confidential way of bringing it to the city's attention and have an investigator get a reply. That's already been in place. But if it would happen to be involved in the mayor, then where's that person supposed to go? So it's never come up before. And looking at it, when I saw that, I thought, well, one day that's going to be, we went back and looked for a record to find out how it was done, so I think that's appropriate. That at least would allow the process to be in place, and where before something happens, we have an individual in place that can be the person to receive that complaint.
I think the highlight of that whole thing was it's never happened before. I have asked, but I mean, this is necessary. It's a part of being who I am, I guess. But I asked, I have opened the door that if it's one of my department heads, that they give me an opportunity to make the corrections, but something needs to be in writing that says that if you have a problem with me, here is the process and how to get it done. It's never been, it wasn't needed before. So here we go. But you gotta have a process.
Okay, so we didn't have a process.
It was necessary before.
We have a process. The process is very specific about what an individual is supposed to do, how they present it. It just says all complaints are brought to the office of the mayor. And then there's a tail end provision, recognizing that, well, you got to have another way of dealing with it if it was going to involve the mayor. The last sentence just says, if it involves the mayor, it'll be brought to a different person that's been previously designated.
Yeah, I mean,
That part of it was not in place.
and see, this sounds good, but years past, it's been some complaints with some former city employees and, against, previous mayors, and, they retaliated against those employees and nothing was done. So, I mean, this is in place,
Well,
and this is good,
yeah.
but, it's some people got more years back.
I would hope not. I guess I would not admit that happened. I'm going to say that shouldn't have happened. This also does not take care of all issues. So if you've got something that's any kind of like a wage complaint, unemployment complaint, hiring decision, firing decision, disciplinary decision, this doesn't cover that. So this doesn't cover someone saying, well, I got terminated, or I got 3 days suspension, I disagree with it. That's a separate process. So there is a separate process for that. This is what they call a whistleblower complaint. This is going to be someone that thinks that there is something inappropriate that either other officials are doing, could be wasting fuel, could be the way business is conducted. I mean, it can cover a lot of things, but it specifically does not include disciplinary actions, hiring, firing.
Okay.
So it doesn't apply to unemployment claims, things like that.
I just got hung up on the retaliation part.
That's the purpose of this, is supposed to allow a person to one that can file this, and that way they're on notice that they submitted a confidential complaint, and that way they can go on with their job duties while it's being investigated and not be retaliated against. That is the purpose of it.
And again, I offered, which is, we need something in writing, but I did offer our department heads that if I didn't take like a crash course in being a mayor. And so if it's a better way to do it, I don't know it. I'm trying hard every day, but if I make a mistake, I've asked for the opportunity to self-correct whenever possible. But this is something that needs to be in writing, and I respect that. So is there any more discussion? We're ready for a voice vote. Those in favor, use the voting sign on the aye. Aye. Those opposed, use the voting sign on the nay. Is there any, Madam President, passes, is there any other business before the council? Yes, sir.
I got a complaint about actually the driveway at the water department. People in their cars are damaging their vehicles getting in. If we could kind of smooth that out just a little bit, a lot of folks would be really happy.
I'll do that. So here's what happened. The other day, Monday morning, we were in a meeting. And I'm talking about, it sounded like those cars it sounded like motor on the ground now. And so, 2 months ago, so we went out, myself, David, and Kevin, to look at it. And it's 6 feet from the street to the top of that. And it's not like talking about it, but that is something that we're actually working on right now.
Awesome.
But like I said, that and shaving the back down a little bit too. So we're actually looking at what it would take to keep cars from rubbing the ground. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yes.
I've got somewhere between a complaint and a suggestion. We have to, if we want to put something on the agenda, we have to get it in by noon, I think it is, on Wednesday, before it gets mailed out on Friday. But it seems like, not every month, but almost every month, we get up here and we're getting a surprise package that we hadn't had a chance to read or look over. And I'm trying to think now, if we have to get ours in by Wednesday at noon, it looks like y'all have to get y'all's in by Wednesday at noon, unless there's some unusual circumstance, some late-breaking emergency, and whatever. I just look like y'all have to go the same standard we have to go to.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We had time, I was thinking, we had time, what some cities do is they have a agenda meeting before the meeting. Now, that's putting more on city council, and that prevents that from happening.
Yeah.
You know, the week before the council meeting, there's a meeting, and at that meeting is where all the agendas made up. I don't think that's a reason I call that, but maybe something.
I'm not suggesting go to that, I'm just saying, there's always we get a surprise package when you get here, and you have to figure out, well, why didn't I get this on Thursday evening or Friday morning, so I had time to consider it.
For this particular discussion, I'll say that all of the resolutions are presented by me whether I write them or not. The whistleblower came in Saturday.
That's good.
Yeah, it came in from someone else. I would never do a whistleblower. So,
For the record, I didn't do it either. I have no idea.
So nobody's got a whistle.
so that one came in because it is necessary right now to go and get that one done so that that person is protected. And so I apologize that it keeps happening, but if it's a resolution, it's automatically attached to the mayor's name, but it's not necessarily the mayor's resolution. Does that make sense?
Well, I understand, but we get a package that we're supposed to have time to review before we get up here. And there again, it just seems like on a regular basis, you just never know what you, as Forrest Gump says, like a box of chocolates, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Respect. Now, again, we forewent the meeting on last night but I've been, at least one person has spoken to me privately about going back over parliamentary procedure. So for the group that will be meeting on, the mayor, to help me and to understand more about how city government goes and things like that. If you'll keep up with your, if you'll follow us on Facebook or what have you, you'll hear us on Friday mention again when we'll redo the meeting where Carrie Weatherford will walk us through parliamentary procedure. There are two different ways she's gonna do it. She's gonna do one specifically for children, and then she's gonna do one specifically for adults to make sure. And for me, I'm going to attend both of them. And if you're not terribly busy, I think it'll be great for our children to see how all the persons participate in just listening through. It'll only be an hour. She already knows we don't have, because I have 2 calls on the same night. But we postponed it, but we didn't reset it because I canceled so late yesterday.
So it's gonna be done through social media?
It's gonna be done through a Zoom. We didn't know how many people, and so we didn't know that we could do social distancing, and so it'd just be so much easier to do it that way you could see it on Zoom if you could. And if you were wanting to come in a room, we could set it up to where some of you could be in the room, but I wouldn't invite a bunch of children into a room with so much going on right now. So if we came to a room with one thing, but I wouldn't invite the whole community.
So you could send the Zoom invite or whatever? I mean,
Yes, sir.
everybody don't do Facebook.
I can do, yes, sir, I can do the Zoom invite to all of the council, and if you send an email to onecamdenAR@gmail.com and ask to be a part of the parliamentary procedure, I don't know, course or whatever it is, if you ask for just that, we'll make sure you get that information.
One Camden, what now?
onecamdenAR@gmail.com. onecamdenAR@gmail.com. I want to say thank you tonight, especially for our working together and being able to accomplish this agenda in almost a record amount of time. I think that's an hour and a half, and I think that's more than enough time to do business. But I want to say thank you for the way we have communicated with each other on tonight. And I know we're not just doing this because next month is election month. I know we're gonna do this forever and a day until forever alive. And we can disagree without being disagreeable. And tonight has been a beautiful meeting. I feel good. It's not weighty. I don't feel heavy. I'm not in angst. And it's not just about me, but as a leader, whatever we're putting out on the World Wide Web, we can't take back. And so I want us to be mindful that the way we conduct ourselves tonight, to just conduct business, no personal things, just doing it, I feel good. Thank you so much. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
I got one more thing real quick. I'd like to, on behalf of the council, the mayor and the council, just recognize, I think she stepped out, Miss Angela Snowden, performing the local chapter of the NAACP. Her and her staff, they have been working real diligently with voter registration and doing things. They put on the Meet the Candidates on last night. Sister Snowden and her staff have been doing an awesome job, and just want to applaud them on tonight. So thank you, Sister Snowden. Oh, she's back there. Oh, there she is.
All right, and so those of you who have not seen one of these, if you'll take a longevity plan, we're not making a decision, but I just want you to look at it. This has been given to us by our city clerk to help us in our planning as we go forward with how we'll do some of the compensation packages in the future. If you're sitting in the room and you feel nosy, I'll leave some over there. I'll leave some over there in just a minute. What do you always say? I move we close this meeting. Motion to adjourn.